it's going to be a good live because we were literally debriefing yesterday, and we were going into
It was earlier today.
because yesterday because we were talking about what we were going over, and then today we were definitely in deep thought. I'm really excited.
My crazy.
If y'all haven't, there's the topics that we're discussing tonight.
I did hear the NSYNC reference. That's the only thing that made me like Izzy. I did hear it.
And I just want y'all to know, I rewatched certain parts of this episode multiple times because I don't want y'all saying anything. I really had to write it down. So yeah, we're just waiting on Aisha. She should be ready shortly. Hey,
hi guys.
I should do a poll.
Oh my God, there's already 100 people in here. You guys, have you guys been hearing? I mean, we're not going to talk about it yet, but like, have you guys been hearing all the behind the scenes tea? And I have some like little behind the scenes shit I'll spill with you guys just here on this live.
Let's see. Let me think of a poll question to get everybody going. Let's see.
Crazy. Do you hear me? Where's Aisha? So we can get this started. I can't be on here for all night, you guys. I have plans with my friends tonight, so I have to get off by 7:30. So I only have like an hour and a half, just so you guys know. But Aisha and Robert, you guys can stay on even if it's like running late or whatever.
We'll see how many people.
Should love is blind. Are you splitting the bill evenly for dinner? Nah. No, I'm not splitting the bill evenly. No, I'm not.
Somebody said, have you guys watched the Alia interview with Cam? I have not.
I didn't watch it, but we watched the clip where we watched the clip where we watched the clip where she said like she wasn't like she doesn't he said she's not his initial type or whatever. Was there anything else good in there?
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I did the dirty work and watched the Izzy podcast. I ain't feel like I needed somebody else to do the Spark Notes for that.
I'll watch Aaliyah's interview. I did not watch Izzy shit. Like I don't care enough to watch it.
I watched it. I listened to it. I woke up whatever day it came out and just was listening to it like in the background. He does do a good interview. I'm not gonna lie. It might not have been a lot of information, but he did do a good interview.
Yeah. I didn't watch it because I was like, what could he possibly say? Like, he's not going to give us anything because the episodes aren't out yet. So
I'm not going to lie. He did a great interview. I'm going to say, like, he did a great interview, even though there was nothing to really give. Like, he didn't really need to do it. He did give a good interview. Like, he has a likable personality from just the personal side of something outside of this show.
You have to have a likable personality when you ain't got shit else. When you broke, you got to have something.
And that's T.
Do you think Lydia and JP would make a good couple? No, I don't. She's a person of color. JP would literally not like her at all.
Also, she would literally walk all over him in bad ways. Oh my gosh. So yeah. Let me check. Time check. Okay.
I heard Alia and Uch got together after a meeting at the bar. Yeah,
they did.
They got together after that lunch. She said that they dated for like a month or two. What confused me at the barbecue, which we'll get into that, was he said like that all his chances were ruined. So it's like you got to pick one. Uche, did you guys date or did you not date? There she is.
There she is.
Hi guys. Alia,
hey y'all.
I heard Johnny has a new man too.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh my gosh.
Aisha.
Can y'all hear me?
Allie, you haven't missed anything. We're just starting.
We just starting. We were just waiting on Aisha.
Oh my God, there's 260 people in here. That's a lot of people. Thoughts on the Milton and Uche combo? Aisha, where are you?
I'm putting my earbuds in.
Okay, You put your earbuds in. Oh, I think we have somebody in the There's somebody. I think there's somebody from the lot like season 5 who's in the comments.
Who?
Her name is
Oh,
Paige.
Paige. Hi, Paige. Yeah, we're friends on Instagram and TikTok.
Instagram.
Rob, I love you. Do you love me too?
Share the love. Okay, y'all. So Aisha's getting ready. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the first topic. And if y'all, the itinerary for what we're doing tonight is up here. Um, you got braids. I see.
Dami, I love you too. I like your hair, Aisha. Oh, we have Paige,
Am
who
I
was
Victoria Monet from last night?
she was
I'm so
pods.
jealous. I'm so jealous of you.
We have Paige. She's Pod Squad from season 5. She's in the comments. She wants to join the live.
So yeah, we're gonna go with the first topic. We're gonna start off very simple. We're gonna talk about the Uche and Milton conversation. Who wants to go first? Who has the minutes?
The
Starting off simple.
Uche and Milton?
The Uche and Milton conversation that started off the whole episode.
Oh, the one that got interrupted by Lydia.
And then restarted. So we can talk about the beginning and the second part of it.
Okay, so I'll start by saying that I felt like Uche was trying to manipulate Milton because he's young. And I feel like I didn't like the way Uche was like, "Don't let her control you. Don't let her come in between you and your friends. Because if that man was really your friend, you would have been told him what was up in the pods. Don't try and befriend him now. Don't try and bro him now, Uche. He's trying to manipulate Milton because he's young, and I don't think Milton fell for it. I think Milton gave him no energy. I'm not going to go into the conversation that they had after the girls' fight. I'm going to just keep it with the conversation where Lydia pulled him away. I thought it was, I was like, what is your point, Uche? Like, what is your goal here? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she was telling Alia what I look like. That's not true. You're adding extras. Like, you had such good things to say about Lydia, and now he's like, I don't want this to come in between you guys, but she's a liar, but she's crazy, but she's. No, you want to fuck up what Uche. You want to fuck up what Lydia has going on with Milton because she fucked up what you had going on with Alia. That's it.
Absolutely. And because my thing about it is,
Facts.
if that's really first of all, they're using the term friend loosely. Second of all, if that was really your friend and that was something that really like bothered you, especially if you like she's so crazy, you would let your friend know that she's crazy. Like, I don't like them using the term friend so loosely as they do. Also the fact, because also, Uche, what is your motive? You're talking about, let me read my notes. He said, I don't want this to affect you and Lydia's relationship. Then why would you bring it up? Like, that was my thing. Why would you bring it up if you did not want it to affect your relationship?
Right. Trying to show the DM and everything.
Absolutely.
I think the focus.
I'm good.
I'm good. I think the focus, if he wanted to have a conversation, should have been about the part of how Lydia played the part with Alia rather than the previous stuff that happened in like their relationship. Because I feel like once they got there, it's kind of the past. Like, if you're not gonna say she's a bad person, don't try to make it seem like she's a bad person now. Not saying that she's not crazy, because I do believe she's crazy, and I will say that publicly. I do believe that from what I've seen and from what I've heard. I believe she's crazy. But just that. Also, it was just, I didn't like the way Uche was asking, "Oh, how is y'all communication?" Or, "Do you feel like this is just a honeymoon phase?" Like, why is that important to you?
No, that was the second part. You're jumping ahead.
I'm talking about both of them, Aisha.
Oh, we're
the whole
talk
thing. Okay.
Both of the conversations.
Okay, yeah, I'll hear Ricky after you.
Yeah, because I just feel like, what was the point? What are you trying to do here? You know what I mean? Like, to me, here's my theory. Here's my little hot take. I feel like Uche is pissed that Milton is with Lydia, because Lydia was his little thingy thing. That was his little, I could call you, get some booty whenever I want. This is my, I
Three
can
times.
run back to you and hit that and quit that and do whatever the hell I want to you. And now she's with you? Little 24-year-old, little scientist, roommate, like it over me? Over me? I'm that guy. And you with this bum? That's how I feel like Uche feels about Milton, and he pissed. He lost his little work. He lost his little girl. He could run back to.
I think that, but
Guys,
also
can
I
I
think
just say this? It's so true. That is so true. I feel that 100%. And I think that when he got out of the pods and he was able, he knows, they know each other. Lydia and Uche know each other. And I
yeah,
think when he saw the way she was interacting with him, that she's like, oh, the way that Milton and Lydia are interacting, I think he realized, oh shit, Lydia is craving partnership and wanting to be on to someone. And Milton's that dude. And I think he realized, oh shit, I don't have her anymore to go back and kind of like cycle off and on with. And he looked at Milton and sized him up. The way that he was trying to like shade Milton, my favorite thing is Milton not making eye. This is what you do with a narcissist. Don't make eye contact. Milton gave him no energy. And I don't even think Uche is a good lawyer because I saw him trying to pivot when he couldn't, when one angle wouldn't work, he pivoted to the next angle. So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm looking out for you. I'm your friend. Next is this angle. He just kept pivoting when it wouldn't work. And that was really, I loved how Milton handled that. And when he tried to come in and be like, well, you don't think that like how her behavior is now is going to be how her behavior is in the future? And Milton be like, yeah, that's fair. We're on different parallels, man. Like we're just,
like
I loved how he handled that.
I think he did.
Like he
I
said a
think he
bunch
did a
of
good
nothing,
job.
but yeah.
I think he did a good job of listening, but also like he's already formed his own opinion. But also he kind of heard him out, and I feel like once you hear somebody out,
he did not hear that man out. He didn't.
No, I
interrupt
think he
him.
did.
He did
Like
not hear
I would
that man
say,
out.
I think he heard the man out in a way of I'm gonna let you dig your own hole, rather than me having a
Yes, I agree with that.
conversation. Like me having a conversation with you back and forth. I feel like Milton gave him enough to where he dug his own hole. Like once he saw Milton wasn't reacting a certain way, he kind of like Uche kind of changed his perspective because once they were doing the whole like when he was saying stalkerish things and then he was like, I can pull out the receipts, and Milton was like, nah, it's cool. And Milton wasn't playing into what he had going on.
Yeah,
And then that turned into, oh, how's the relationship going? Like, no, let's not pivot that way.
Like, dude, you don't fucking care. Let's be honest. You don't care whatsoever how the relationship's going. Right. Milton was like unbothered, but also I just felt like Uche opened up this show, this episode 8. He was desperate to tell anyone that would listen his story about Lydia. And at the end of the day, I think that he went so hard on it that it made him start looking crazy.
Right.
Because it's like when people start telling you someone's crazy so much, but you're like, but you went back to fuck them 3 times. At what point are you crazy too?
Right.
Y'all crazy.
Yeah. I think that scene was actually really funny to me, and I thought that by him being like, don't let her come in between us, bro, and Milton was like, I'll see you in the group chat, was his way of being like
see you in the group chat.
Like, see you never, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like
but yeah,
I don't think those people like Uche. I don't think any of those people on the cast really. I want to know who's friends with Uche besides Johnny. We know Johnny's leading the fan club.
Aisha had a theory, and again, this is just a theory. She thinks, and you guys let us know in the comments. Maybe you can make this a poll, Rob.
Let me do the poll. Hold on.
Oh, make this a poll.
Hold on, I'm doing a poll.
Johnny gave Uche that coochie. That's just a theory that Uche hit Johnny. Like, y'all think Uche hit Johnny?
I think Johnny would, y'all. When I saw the way that Johnny's eyes were lighting up when the whole thing was happening, and I was like, Johnny would fuck him, and I don't know.
She would?
They're crazy. I think crazy likes crazy.
She would, or do you think she did?
I think she would.
See it.
I think that I think that Uche kind of likes I think Uche is he reminds me of the type of guy, the way he showed on the show, y'all. I don't know him in real life. Uche reminds me of the type of guy that makes women crazy, and then he tells everybody he's dated is crazy, and he's the red flag. Like, he just reminds me of someone that
everyone's saying they
clearly I'm triggered by him.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Uche liked Stacy, considering the fact that they went to drinks with Izzy, Stacy, and somebody else from the cast, and he was telling Stacy some negative things about Izzy.
Stacy won't fuck him. He's not bringing her. She's not bringing him to her family. He can just like chill.
That's what Izzy said on his podcast, and I'm adding it up to each other.
You said what?
Izzy has a podcast?
No, Izzy was on the Nick Vaughn podcast.
No,
he said that because Izzy had asked No, because Nick had asked Izzy, like, what's your relationship with Uche? What do you think about the whole situation? And he was like, I really don't have much to say on the situation. He was just like, I kind of just know how he is. And then we went out to a restaurant. We were grabbing drinks. I went to the bathroom, and Stacy told me later on that he went back. He was talking shit about Izzy while he was in the bathroom.
So he's
Because
fake.
that is his character.
That's
He's
very his
fake.
That's his
character.
character. I don't
He's
know.
fake.
I don't think. Do you think he's fake, or do you think he shows you who he is and people don't check it, except for Miriam, which we'll get to? I know.
I feel like he does. I feel like he does it to people like who he knows. Like, I feel like this is the type of audience he can do that with. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like it's a majority white crew, so I don't feel like you can do a lot of this with black people. Like, they're not gonna really believe you.
Yeah.
But are we gonna move to the next topic? Because y'all, we are really ready to talk about the next topic.
Is there anything? Are there any final thoughts on the Milton? I think that Uche was trying to gaslight him, and when he was dropping all the dropping the she was saying, look at his car, like this is all the things he has. I think he was trying to like brag to Milton, like kind of establish in a low key way, I'm better than
Yeah.
you, and like I'm superior than you, and it bothered me because that whole conversation was just to hype himself up, and I do think that like it was so nice watching Milton give him nothing because I'm a very emotionally reactive person. So I'm not going to, I'm going to be more like how some of the other people were. But I respected how Milton didn't give him anything.
Right.
And he just walked away like he looked stupid. So anyway, that's the last piece.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I love that Milton made Uche look stupid. Although
Let me
I
do a
didn't
poll.
understand. Everyone in the comments is saying like whatever Milton said, like you have to like kind of like be a mathematician to understand what he was talking about. And I'm not one, so I was definitely like they were even playing like doo 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 like music behind it. Like what the fuck is he saying? But good, you just say nothing. Like a simple okay would have been even more annoying to Uche. Like,
but did you hear when he was in bed later with Lydia and he was like, I told him we're on different parallels, and he said the kind of math it was, and he goes, but he's not an engineer or STEM major. I think that was his way of giving him a dig because he's 25 now. He can't flex like he's in his 30s, and I think that's fair. Like a mid 30-year-old person trying to shit on a 20-year-old, a 24-year-old, that makes you look like a clown. Let this young person grow up and have their moment. So I think that's like whatever, but I think all that Milton can do is be like, dude, you're not a fucking engineer. You're not STEM. You don't understand.
Yeah.
That's all he had, poor thing.
That's all
Y'all
he
ready?
had. No, wait, when Lydia was like, are you gonna defend me? No, bitch, he's not because he's 12, okay? Like stop like I said in my video, like Lydia's that girl that's like, my boyfriend's gonna whoop your ass, and then her boyfriend
get y'all into a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
Lydia
Just because
would
she
get y'all
started
into
stuff. And I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna come back to that when we talk about the Lydia Milton conversation.
Okay.
About just their interaction overall about certain things. Y'all ready for the next poll question?
Yeah. Wait, you go. What did you say about Milton and Uche? You didn't say much.
I did. I started it. Well, somewhat.
Oh, okay.
I was just like,
saying let you talk, so they.
Oh no, y'all. No, I was like, I was talking about the next topic, y'all. Y'all vote on the next topic because like I knew this is going to be the one we disagree on the most.
You go.
And we're on topic number two. We're on topic number 2, y'all. And I want y'all to know I'm gonna let them go first before I do anything. Or do you? Or y'all want me? Or
Rob, I think Rob, you should start this one out.
We're on the same page. You're not.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this. I personally think Miriam did too much. I told this to Aisha and I told this to Ricky. I did a video of me like kind of going through the scene. I personally, out of everybody, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't agree with Uche. I am not an Uche fan. Let me start off by saying that. I don't like Uche at all. But in this situation, I personally felt she did too much and she was trying to get 5 minutes of fame, honestly. Because let's be real. First of all, Uche should have never had that conversation with the group of people that they were with. I feel like Uche was kind of desperate to hear, like desperate for somebody to hear his side. And I didn't like that. First of all, I definitely didn't think that he should have had a conversation. Those are not his people. He's not friends with those. Secondly, he was having a conversation and I feel like Uche kind of had a point that he was trying to get to. Now, I will say, Miriam and her friend to the side, I feel like they were hyped for no reason. Like, I want to know what the background was before that, because I don't feel like Uche came at them in a harsh way. Now, I will say, Stacy was having a conversation with Uche. Uche was having a conversation with Stacy, and they kind of jumped in. I was like, okay. Stacy was still having a conversation when Miriam was kind of jumped in and kind of had her opinion. Y'all, I feel like him and Stacy were having an average conversation, because they were saying, oh, like, you don't know what happened behind the scenes. Lydia and Alia were connecting, like, when they were connecting when you don't know, like, when you know the whole cheating thing. And then Uche made the point of that was before she knew about the whole dating situation, which I absolutely agree on. Hold on, Ricky. And then that's kind of when Miriam was like that. Now, I've debated this with Aisha. I said, how did y'all want him to, like, kind of tell her to be quiet? Because I feel like stop was not bad. Like, I feel like stop was not a bad way of hope. Like, he didn't tell her to shut the fuck up. Like, I feel like stop
Did
was
he
like,
tell her to stop?
he did. He
Rob,
said
did he
stop.
say stop?
He said
He did.
Did
stop.
he
He
say
did
stop?
say.
Or was he like, no, Miriam, I don't want to
He
hear
said
you
stop, stop,
No,
stop,
he
stop,
said
stop,
having
stop,
a
stop.
stop,
conversation with
He
her.
stop,
said
stop,
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 stop.
stop.
Because he was trying to hear what Stacy was saying. And I don't think he came disrespectful, because I feel like regardless of how he was saying it, it was gonna come off a certain way. I don't, and then I feel like Miriam got too hyped, and then I know there's a lot of people y'all saying that she ate him up, but she really did not. He got up and he was ready to go on. And I just feel like she kind of antagonized him. Then she kind of made fun of, kind of mocking him. And that's what escalated the whole situation. Because I don't know. Now, Ricky did say there was tea behind the story that I did not know.
Yes.
Yes. Which
Yes.
I'm gonna let Ricky elaborate that, which could have contributed that, but I don't think y'all go ahead. Y'all ahead, because
So
I'm reading the comments. I'm looking for it.
you guys, the tea behind Miriam and Uche, and this is just what a little birdie told me. The tea is that Connor and Miriam, you probably don't even know who Connor is. He was another pod squad. They had a connection in the pods, and they were going to get engaged. And then Uche went to Connor and told Connor that Miriam was just looking for a sugar daddy. So he fucked up Miriam's chances of getting engaged. So Miriam already had smoke for Uche. She already wasn't fucking feeling Uche, because you're a fucking hater, bro. Like, why would you go and mess up what I got going on? Like, why are you fucking sticking your foot in everybody's shit? So apparently at the barbecue, Miriam did confront Uche, like, I don't know if you guys even heard in their little argument. She was like, "You're talking all that shit, but you can't say it to my face." That's what she was referring to, because he went and was talking smack about her behind her back and fucked up her chances of getting engaged with Connor. Now, what I will say about the fight is I do not agree that Uche was just having a conversation with Stacy. He went, and for you guys saying that Miriam just wanted camera time, what was Uche's point of having a conversation with all those ladies? It was clear as day. Nobody was fucking with him. They was rolling their eyes.
That
They
was
was
very clear, Ricky. And I don't think
smacking
he
their
should have had the
lips.
conversation.
But
He
he
should have had the
was
conversation.
having a group conversation. So what?
But I feel like she was the
Everybody
one
was chiming
talking.
in.
But
Everybody was
Stacy was the
chiming in.
but Stacy was the one talking. Like, I don't
She
like.
was talking, but everybody was chiming in. And when Miriam gave her 2 cents, it's like stop, 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 stop. He could have went about that, and he could have said, "Miriam, I understand that we're having a group conversation, but can I hear what Stacy has to say, and then you could finish." He did not have to.
She was already hyped
Yep.
though,
If he
Ricky. She
would
was
have,
already hyped for a
if he
fight
would
though.
have put his hand up at me, I would have bucked up on his ass too. I'd have been like,
She
"Bitch,
was
fuck
looking.
you!"
She was looking
Like,
for an argument. She wanted to start something, because my thing is, granted, they were in a group conversation, but she was the one. Like, Stacy was literally the one having the conversation.
there's a more
But
respectful way
but
to
but
tell
also, how
somebody.
how
You
how he was not gonna win.
you how I just told you
Rob,
how.
he didn't even
You
try.
say 1 second, Miriam.
I didn't feel like
One
he. I
second,
didn't feel
Miriam.
it.
You say 1 second, Miriam. Can Stacy finish what she's saying? Simple as
She
that.
was not doing that. She was already hyped, y'all. She
Now,
was
Rob,
if he
already
he's a
said
hyped.
that
lawyer.
and she would have got
Are
hyped,
you
I'd have
playing the
been like,
clip,
she was
Aisha? Are
looking
you
for a
playing the
fight.
clip?
No, I'm not playing a
Oh,
clip. I just wanted
I thought
to
you was gonna
tell
play
you
the
it's a
clip.
Miriam Stan account. It's a Miriam Stan account. So I just needed y'all to see the scene, because the way, like, I think that you're giving Uche a lot of benefit of the doubt, and I don't think that he's deserving of it, because I think that his track record with this cast is that of disrespect, and he's a little antagonistic. And I think that he's a lawyer. He is literally professional. He's a professional in using his words and language. He knows how to elicit certain responses and lead people certain ways. And like, I think that for him to be a lawyer, he's not at work. They're all drinking, having a good time. But I think he shut her down specifically in that way because he wanted to make sure that she knew to shut the fuck up. And he wanted to let Stacy finish speaking. And in that group dynamic, one, they're having a group conversation. All of them are talking and chiming in. It's not a one person finishes cleanly, then the next person speaks, and then they're having a conversation. And I think that Uche was desperate for validation, and he knew that he was not about to get validated by Miriam or Maris. And I think that he like wanted to shut her up in a way that proves Ricky's backstory about the tea, where there's something else there with them. And he got in a few little bars when he was like, do you have a business? Do you not have a business? Do you have a boyfriend? He had a few little things, but I think ultimately everything she said about him was true. And that truth, he got up and pretended to take a phone call. We knew he's not on the phone.
I didn't say she ain't had no truth to it. I'm just saying, I feel like it was not no conversation. I feel like it was a heavy disagreement. It was not no conversation. I feel like the girl
Uche was not having a Uche doesn't have conversations.
He was having a conversation. I have to disagree. I feel like Uche was having a conversation. As much as we don't like this man, like I feel like he was having a conversation. That girl on the end in the white, whatever her name was, got hyped, started yelling too. Miriam did as well. I feel like,
Rob, how would you have handled it on your own as an individual that you are? Because you're not a disrespectful ass person.
I was like, I personally think Uche probably could have handled it less with the whole no situation. Granted, but my thing about it is the situation was already hyped. Like, it was already hyped.
But do you realize if a situation is already hyped and you handle it?
I probably would have left.
Uche, if it was me, represents someone who escalates.
I probably would have had to leave. Now, I wouldn't want to hear anything else. Like, I probably wouldn't have to leave. I would have left. Like, I wouldn't have pulled Stacy to the side. I would have left and let the conversation go. But y'all, I think I had to realize Uche was getting up to leave, and she continued to say stuff, and which led him to call her bitter.
Rob, we need to run it back.
Okay, wait a minute, because I feel like
she did, y'all. I promise y'all. She got on the he got up to leave. He said, "Stacy, do you want to have a conversation?" She mocked him and was like, "You want to have a steak? You want to have a conversation?" I could pull it up, y'all. I have the laptop.
My whole thing is if he wanted to have a conversation with Stacy, he should have started having a conversation with Stacy. But you don't go into a group setting and then get mad when everybody's trying to say their 2 cents. And he got his ass up and was leaving, but still was throwing shots. You're bitter. You're this. Nah, stay in this heat and hear what I got to say. Because if you're gonna fucking
I'm sorry,
as you walk away, bitch, you're about to get this smoke. Okay, Uche can't handle a woman fucking talking back to him. He can't handle it.
Hold up. Let me see if I can turn this.
He was antagonizing her. Rob,
absolutely.
Move your green screen.
Rob, take your background off.
I'm trying to turn the green screen off. Hold up.
Hold
up. I can't. Let me see.
And then Ricky, think about the fact that when he wanted to talk to Lydia, he said, "Lydia, can I pull you aside real quick and have this conversation?"
Yeah, he didn't want to hear what Miriam had to say. Shh.
Okay, volume up.
Roll the footage.
See that? You had to go back right before the hand comes up.
He was calm.
It's behind. Are we starting from the beginning?
I'm not saying he wasn't calm. I'm saying he was antagonizing her.
Just start it from like right before he shuts her off.
I have to have Lydia's back on this because when Alia was breaking down when she told you about her infidelity and you were kind of like done about it, Lydia sat there comforting her friend that is dating her ex. So
but then what did she do after she found out?
But that emotion whenever she was
she did too much.
But then after she found out
Lydia and Alia came to us together, holding hands, crying together.
Yeah, that was before she found out that we all knew everything, though, right?
No, she had no.
Miriam, stop.
She's not hype. Now she's hype.
I want to hear what Stacy
See? Tell me to stop.
I want to hear what Stacy
You're not going to tell me when to talk and when not to talk. You keep your toxic masculinity to yourself.
This is done.
Okay, I'm gonna have a drink.
See?
Do you want to talk? Because I feel like I want to hear your perspective, Stacy.
See?
Stacy, can I talk to you? I don't want to hear.
No, I'll read you for the.
Okay, see?
Of course you don't want to hear.
Bitter. Okay, then he said bitter. Okay.
About Lydia. So if y'all want to talk about that.
Now watch, he walks off and he's still woofing.
No, don't call me bitter.
You are bitter.
Are y'all need to see any more?
Need to see more.
Still saying.
Do I pause it? Are we? Oh.
Play the whole thing, Rob. Play the last 10 seconds.
I live in Saudi Arabia.
Do you have a job? Do you have a not
I
job? Do you not have a job?
Wait. Can you believe this guy?
Do you have a business? Do you not have a business? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you not have a boyfriend?
No.
Hey, you're here for the camera.
I'm here for the
That's the only
camera.
thing you're here
No,
for.
come back
You're
here.
so
Let me answer your
fake.
questions. Yes, I work in Saudi Arabia. Yes, I have a fucking degree from Johns Hopkins University. You can look that up. You want to talk about who's here for the cameras? I'm not Lydia or Alia. You're not going to make me cry. I'll read you for the filth you are. Loser.
Let me turn my. Hold up. Let me turn my little effect on.
They're all there for the cameras.
Right.
The idea
Absolutely.
that they continue to try to insult people and be like, you're only here for the cameras. They all want a social following. They all want to pivot this into something else, y'all. They're all there for the cameras. And they're all people who are either fucking dating or doing something with somebody else or other people before they get cast in the show. The casting process is long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is I hear you guys in the comments saying that he was calm, and I think that people think that when somebody's like taking a dig or trying to be disrespectful means that they have to be bucked up. Like you can be disrespectful in the most calmest way. That does not mean that you weren't being disrespectful. There was a respectful way for him to tell Miriam that he was trying to hear Stacy out without him putting his fucking hand up and saying stop. He could have said,
I don't think that was that bad. I feel like if he was like stop very aggressive, I don't.
He
feel like
said stop. Don't put your fucking hand up at me. Like that would have set
Rob,
me
trust us though. But trust us.
I trust y'all, but I'm just saying on my perspective.
Trust us as women, having a man do that to you in a group setting. That he's trying to embarrass her and he's trying to shut her up. And I think there's a sensitivity to that, the way that he was dismissive of her in front of all those people. And her being
nobody's saying he was aggressive. Nobody's saying he was angry.
I'm thinking more overall. I'm thinking like, how is he going to say it without like the situation was already to a certain point. How is he supposed to tell her to be quiet and he was trying to listen to Stacy? Because what's her name?
He's not capable of doing that, Rob. That's not.
But how can you do that in the future?
He is not.
But how y'all doing that in the future though?
But I've literally given you example of it 20 to say, Miriam, I hear what you're saying. Can I hear what Stacy has to say? Simple as that, Miriam.
But that still would have led to a thing. You
we're
don't
all
tell
having
me
a
to be
group
quiet.
conversation.
I feel like
I
regardless
understand we're all having a group conversation, but can I just hear what Stacy has to say? Don't you ever put your motherfucking hand up in my motherfucking face and tell me to stop.
He was not going to win regardless.
Stop.
He was not going to win.
And excuse me would have done. Excuse me, I hear what you're saying. Can I hear what Stacy has to say? They were all having a group conversation. I don't care what anybody says. Like, yes, maybe Stacy was dominating that conversation, but Uche, you went to the group to try and get what you had off. You know what I mean? He wanted that attention. He wanted that spotlight on him. He couldn't even fucking handle it when Stacy and fucking Johnny were about to divert off of him. He was like, excuse me,
my
ladies.
God, that was
Can I finish? Excuse me, ladies.
Are we switching to that?
So funny.
No, don't switch to that because we still
are we moving? Like, are we moving?
No, this
don't
is just
move.
the beginning. When he was trying to tell everyone his story because he wants validation so desperately. Johnny and Stacy were having their little moment where they were about to pop off. Uche was so bothered that other people were talking. It was kind of funny watching him be like, the attention back on me. Dude, you are not in like the courtroom right now. I just feel like I think that Rob, it sounded a little bit like men's rights up in here with you.
I see what y'all are saying, and like I see what y'all are saying, but I'm just saying from my perspective.
You're assuming if he did something different, it would have still been the same thing. And I'm telling you, if he handled it differently, it would have been different.
No, I don't think so. I feel like regardless of what he said, it was going to be bad. I feel like regardless of what he said, oh, I'm trying to hear Stacy talk. Oh, you don't hear? I feel like it was just not in the situation.
No, it's literally. It's the dismissive. He let everybody else talk. He was directing that anyway. He directed that towards Miriam. Miriam defended herself. I think she could have done more, but that's messy. And then it would have made it all about how she made it I think she could have thrown a drink at him. You can tell I watched too much Bravo and Housewives, but she could have done more. I think everything she told him was true. And I think it's interesting that he can't handle a woman that is going to confront him, or not confront him, but like stand up to him, because he's usually antagonistic, and he walks away.
Yeah.
I don't like
and my thing is, like, if he was going to walk away, he should have just walked away and not like continuously tried to throw jabs back at her. Like, if you're going to walk away, then walk away and let that be that. But you're going to walk away.
Did you show a comment?
Yeah.
Didn't you all post his response? Or I think Ricky did.
It did.
No,
hold up. Y'all, let me see if I can put it up. Let me see if I can put it on the effect.
Yeah, but like, Uche did have, like, the point of, like, do you
he comment? I don't know if y'all can read this. Hold up.
Oh, that's so small. I can't see that.
He said, okay, so somebody asked him about the whole situation. He said, I was annoyed because in the past, Miriam told me how much the Instagram followers would mean to her from appearing on the show. She was not friends with me, Lydia or Alia at the time, so I saw her chiming as a more way to get screen time. The most recent ex is dark skinned woman, and don't believe everything you read. Okay.
So they accused him of being colorist.
Well, yeah, because the colorist comments, you guys have to remember, came from that catfish. So that holds no merit. But he's basically saying, I lost my train of thought. He's basically saying that he took Miriam chiming in more so as like wanting to get camera time, more so than like wanting to be a part of the conversation. But I think you going to the group and trying to badmouth Lydia was your way of trying to get camera time. So let's just be fucking for real right now. Like, you running to Milton and you running to the group with this conversation was your way of trying to get camera time. Sorry.
Okay, yeah,
I agree with you, Ricky.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree with Ricky, and I actually think that Uche's response to Miriam his explanation makes more sense, that that's his response, and I wish that they would show more of the context, and he would be like, I'm mad because you said this shit in the pods. Like, I wish they would just say that, because it makes it make more sense how he's reacting to her specifically, because he thinks that she's like a clout chaser, but they're all chasing something on this show, so it's kind of silly.
Right. And I definitely think that they should have, if they were going to air the whole Miriam and Uche fight, they should have let us know that they had some smoke there. Like, for those of you guys who missed it, Uche messed up Miriam's chances of getting engaged in the pods.
From what we heard. We don't know for sure, but
what little birdie told me, which my little birdie hasn't been wrong since, but that Connor and Miriam were going to get engaged in the pods, and Uche went back and hated on Miriam and told Connor, oh, she's looking for a sugar daddy. That's why Connor didn't. So there was already smoke there. So that's what a little birdie told me.
And I just want to let
because he told Connor that she was looking for a sugar daddy. So Connor didn't propose.
So yeah,
you can't reveal your sources, guys. You know, he never revealed his sources. That's how you keep them.
Are we going to the next topic?
I'm not telling you my source.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, also, y'all, I want y'all to know I still love Ricky and Aisha very much. I ain't gonna lie, I think that was the most heated debate we've ever gotten to. Fun time. I love you. we still love each other, y'all. Okay, so next on the list is the whole. There we go. The whole Stacy, Izzy, Chris, Johnny.
That's a background, Aisha.
I love it. Like, okay. And that's not, we on topic number 3, y'all. On topic number 3. Who going first? Y'all want me to go first, or y'all want to go first?
What is topic 3? I can't see it.
It's the Stacy, Izzy, Johnny, Chris conversation.
Okay.
When I was watching them argue, I thought it was funny. Go ahead, Ricky.
Can we start with the whole, like, because it kind of started with Uche and Miriam's where Stacy was like, "What is this wrong with your face?" Because I would have let her ass up.
I think it started with his face.
Yeah.
It started with Johnny having a jaw drop like this the whole fucking time, and then let me pull up the way that, because I took a screenshot when I saw the way that Stacy was looking at her, because I was like, Stacy hates this girl. Now this is how Stacy was looking at her, y'all.
First of all, I think that was all of our faces when we found out that, like, Lydia followed Uche there. We were all like, what? So for Stacy to be like, what's wrong with your face? I'd have been like, bitch, the same thing that's wrong with your motherfucking face, bitch, because aren't you a makeup artist, and why you look like that, bitch? I would have lit her ass up, because she is a fucking mean girl, and she knows that Johnny is, like, very passive. Like, I would have mopped the floor with her ass. Like, bitch, fuck you. Bitch, fuck you. You mad because your man wanted me, and you thought you got a prize, and you ended up with a brokey, and now I'm over here living my best life with fine ass Chris. Bitch, Fix your
First of
eyebrows, ho.
And I think the whole, honestly, like it's very intimidating. Like she really hates the fact that like Johnny was so high on his list. She was so high on his list. And I think it's like you have him, so like, what purpose are you doing it? Plus, Johnny did not come. Like, let's be real. If we go back to season 1, if we're doing, let's refer to Jessica, Amber, and Barnett. Jessica was low key trying to swoop in there. I don't feel like Johnny came in there trying to swoop in, trying to save Izzy or anything. She was fine holding on to Chris at the party. And it was just like, also the conversation in general pissed me off because why was Stacy in the conversation with Izzy and Chris? That's what really blew me because Chris was addressing Izzy on, I never said that. I never said she was sketchy comment. Then when Stacy came over there and they was like, oh, we're having a conversation. First of all, Stacy acting like, what y'all talking about? What the hell you think we talking about? Like, let's not be dense here. Then she stayed the conversation. Like, then she stayed over there while the conversation and was like trying to add on extra feedback. Oh, like she was saying this and saying this. Then got irritated when Johnny came over there. And I was just like, you should have got up and left because that was a conversation between Chris and Izzy. Also, Izzy was doing team too much. Let me go down my list. Chrissy was doing team too much when Johnny May was talking about all like when we had our breakup. We never broke up. We were never together. Like, why does it matter? Like, you knew what the fuck she meant. Like, you
He's
knew.
doing that to try to validate Stacy because he knows it's a sensitive subject for her, and he knew he was gonna have to go home and deal with it.
Crazy.
Why do you guys think Stacy is so pressed about Johnny? Granted, I don't like Johnny. I think
someone in the comments said it's because Johnny's a lawyer and Stacy has to work 3 jobs. Who said it was really funny? Someone posted that.
Ooh, Stacy is so pressed about Johnny. Like, she's so pressed about her.
He was pressed, and Izzy was too, because my thing about it was Izzy talking about, and I don't know if this is gonna lead probably into number 4. Even though we're still talking about 3, it's gonna lead into number 4. Also, the conversation that Izzy and Stacy had after the fight, the whole night, when he was like, oh, Stacy was like, oh, why did you care so much? And he's talking about, that's my friend. Then he talking about, oh, I want to let Chris know because let me see. He said he don't need to be with. He's talking about doesn't need to be with Johnny because Chris is better. And I was like, is that your business? You have a wife.
She's unrealistic. Stacey's did you hear that part of the combo where she goes, I want to feel the angst of you being afraid to lose me every day. I was about to film a video about this. She's so fucking toxic with the kind of love that she wants. Like, I'm not trying to come in here and cape for Izzy, but like, she wants a very toxic, unhealthy love. She reminds me of a toxic employer where she reminds me, I live in Seattle. A lot of people work for Amazon. It has been written about how toxic it is to work there in that environment, competitive. She reminds me of a competitive, toxic job. You never know what your performance review will be. Every day you think you're going to get fired. She wants you living in fear because that makes her feel loved. So I wanted Izzy to run, to be honest. But Izzy was out of fucking pocket for the way he was talking to Johnny. And I think that he is triggered by Johnny. And I think it blows, like he said, you told me you love me 4 times in the pods, and then all of a sudden afterwards you're like, I'm happy it didn't work out. I was like, has Izzy never been told that someone was happy when they met him, that it didn't work out? Because she's sitting there with Chris, happy.
It's the same, but it's the same concept of what's going on with Uche and Lydia. Like, Uche was so convinced that Lydia was there for him and followed him there that he couldn't get over the fact that she moved on. Like, Izzy thought Johnny was on his nutsack, and then the minute he realized, like, oh, she moved on to somebody else, like, she doesn't.
All of a sudden, it was like, she's crazy, she's delusional, and I'm just like, honestly, at that point, it was just like, what did it add? Like, I'm not weren't you? They probably should have had a conversation, because I think this was the first time they met. A conversation was granted to have production. Y'all know how production was, but it was just the way of, there was certain things that were just unnecessary to say, and I just feel like if I'm going about my life, you should go on about the same thing. Like, if Johnny wasn't over there trying to snatch Izzy up, then what purpose did it was to like rewind? If she's fine, he's fine, let it go. Like, what? That's not your friend. And like, y'all been in the past 10 days, and all of a sudden, I'm looking out for my friend. I'm looking out.
What if this whole like Uche tried? Oh, I'm looking
like,
out
y'all
for
not friends. Y'all are not friends.
Right, they're not looking out. I think it hits your ego when you see someone that you had wrapped around your finger that you rejected go to someone else you've lived with, and I think it's unnatural to have it in your face, and to see that person be like happy and not pressed about you. Mm-hmm. Johnny, when Johnny said, I don't want your advice, like, she was like, I don't want your advice for love or money. I'm good. I'm good over here,
And
sir.
I think he thought he was gonna get something from Johnny, like he was gonna get a like, there's still feelings there, or
he
I
was
still
looking
think
for that.
about you. I think he wanted that, and he was like real mad that he didn't get that. Johnny was like, oh, okay, like I'm good, like I don't think he liked that, but
And I don't,
and
and
I
I,
think that
and I
that
felt,
whole
okay.
conversation between him and Stacy, I think that was about Johnny, because that fight was so
It had to
fucking
be. It was.
stupid.
Can we go to
Absolutely.
that?
Yes,
Okay,
we're
when
moving
you
to,
guys are ready.
we're going forward because
Yeah,
I have strong opinions because my thing about it is, Stacy, if you felt so strongly about Izzy bringing up his past, then you would have never had the conversations. You would have told him, don't talk to it. We're fine. Like, we're going to go on about our business. But my thing is, you continue to put a battery pack in Izzy because you're talking about how much you don't like her. And then like, he feel like he got to constantly take up for you. Now you talk about, oh, like, why we got to bring up the past. No, like, I ain't like that. I
Like, it's the
ain't like
current.
that.
It
I ain't
just
like that.
seemed like Stacy is so pressed, like she thinks she's so much better than Johnny, and just can't believe that like Izzy like had an interest in Johnny, because it seemed like she was grasping at straws, like, what do you do for me when you come home? I cook, I clean, and you don't do anything. And it's like she was honing in on cooking and cleaning. It's like, bitch, okay, you cook and you clean, good for you, whoop-de-doo. What the fuck do you do for him? You know what I'm saying? She seems so
Ricky,
annoyed.
say it.
He was, first of all, drunk as fuck. Like, I just was so happy when you
I felt bad for
reeled
him,
into
y'all.
Johnny. I was like,
I felt
ew.
so bad for him when he was
I
crying
did
and he was
too.
being emotional. I made my husband watch that scene last night, and he looked at me like, "You feel bad for him?" He thinks that he was performing. He's like, he hates Izzy. He's
No,
like, I
I
think
don't.
Izzy is
I
all
hate
talk,
Izzy
doesn't
too.
follow shit up.
I think Izzy was just drunk and couldn't
I,
control his
I
emotions. He
felt
was
so
fucked
bad.
up.
He was so honest. I was like, Izzy is being honest with her, and she is
he
not like a
was.
safe space for vulnerability.
She's
Because
Mm-mm.
she
not.
just sitting there like, why are you crying? Bitch, you just told me that I don't do shit for you. And I like, she is not a safe space for
She
emotional
isn't.
vulnerability,
And
y'all.
I feel
Not
like
yet.
I'm gonna
Not right
lie.
now.
And I feel like what's it called? Like I feel like Izzy and Johnny would have connected more connected more on that emotional level because she cries every 2 seconds, and I feel like he does have that side of him where he can be vulnerable
Johnny
in the
said
right
that.
space. And it's just like it was just very hard watching because it's just like also at the same time he was literally starting another job, and in my mind that's what I was thinking of. I was just like, he's onboarding, he's probably trying to sell insurance, y'all know, he's new, and it's just like, why, like, it really it gave me a bad look because I just felt kind of bad. It was just like, and then talk about, oh, like I was expecting rose petals and things. I'm like, you can have
It
those
was all
expectations.
about Johnny.
It was.
She said, I want you to appreciate me for me and the things I do for you, not because you just saw this crazy like woman and now you're happy that I'm not that. And also the other thing she said that really stuck out to me is she was like, when he was so fucking drunk. He goes, when you were railing into Johnny, it was so hot, it turned me on. Her
Mm-hmm.
face screwed up for a second, and
Mm-hmm.
after that is when it kind of like derailed. And I was like, you just told this woman that you got turned on by her saying some like, and she doesn't like drama like that. I could tell she doesn't like drama, which is,
She
as
do.
we're talking
She
about it,
do.
I
She
think
She does.
her and
feeds
Uch
I
off
should
think
have
it.
she
been
does
together.
like drama.
She feeds off
She doesn't
drama.
like in your face drama. She's like manipulative behind the scenes puppet master. She can't handle someone in her face. Like if Miriam gave her that energy, I don't think she would know
Oh
what
yeah,
to do with it.
she definitely cower. But I think it's like she, like he said, like you're focusing so much on like what I don't do for you. You're not focusing on what I do, because how you want rose petals,
True.
but I bring you fucking flowers every Monday, but you're focusing on the rose petals that are in the bathroom, not the ones that are on this fucking counter. You know what I mean? I just think that Stacy
That's
thinks
because she don't want that man.
she doesn't want him. I don't blame her. She like, but if I don't blame her, because they're just not equally yoked, and
Not at
there's
all.
no
Yeah.
issue with that. Now, if Izzy wanted a fucking come up, if Izzy wanted a bitch that was going to take care of him, he missed the fucking boat with Johnny, because Johnny's got a coin, and she would have taken care of that man for the rest of his days. So he missed
Johnny,
his.
though, is going to trigger him. Johnny triggers him somewhere in his past because the way that her just sitting there spirals him out. You can just see the different dynamic. He needs like an emotionalist, like a less expressive, or I should say a less emotive person. I'm going to stop calling these people not emotional because they feel inside. They just don't they don't show it the same way. He needs someone who is less emotive because he like wants to work and earn it. And Johnny was giving it freely, and it's just like weird watching how they get triggered by folks. Does anyone else see that when y'all are watching? Does anyone else see themselves in some of these people? Because I could definitely be critical like Stacy, and it made me want to like chill.
I don't know.
Like, she's
I don't know.
intense, y'all.
These people look like fools to me, so I don't want to compare. I was like,
You sure defending Uche. You sure haven't called Uche a fool once. I haven't heard it.
don't do too much because we can rewind the live from last week when I was getting ate up. We can rewind the lives. We can play that. But y'all,
I honestly want better for Uche, or I want not Uche. I want better for Izzy. I think Izzy deserves more than her, and I know that's like. I feel cringy saying that, y'all.
And I would say,
they just suck. They're not compatible. She don't want him. I don't know what the fuck he really sees in her. They're just not compatible.
I said, and then the other big topic about it was the fact that, okay, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of skipped through the wedding part because I hate the wedding dress part. I skipped through their date because I hate the last minute dates, like trying to prove their love. And I think the next biggest topic before we go to the next topic was the whole credit card situation. I don't know if y'all saw that part.
I have a comment though about the wedding dress shopping, if you don't mind.
Are you talking about the Renee situation? Because I was gonna say that for behind the scenes, but if you want to go ahead and say it now,
we can save it for behind. Well, if we want to talk about I was just gonna say, it's annoying to me that they cut out all of Renee and Carter.
That's what I was gonna talk about.
You have her here with her. Okay, we can save it. I'll wait.
We'll come back to that, y'all. We're gonna come back to that one. But yeah,
someone just asked, how did Izzy pay for the plane? Izzy didn't pay for the plane, y'all. That's a production day. That was set up by the producers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole credit card thing, I was very like confused because the way it was edited, I was just very confused because I was just like, so he doesn't have credit cards because he got a bad credit score because he had $3,500 in debt. Is that what I was reading into?
Yeah, I think the way that I read it kind of seemed like the camera like picked up in the middle of something that was already going on. And the way that I picked up on it was like they were at a gas station. She asked him if he had a credit card. He said no. And in that moment, she felt like he should have explained why he didn't have a credit card, but he didn't. And then he brought it up later why he didn't have a credit card, which is because he has bad credit and he's in credit card debt.
Like I was really confused. Like it was just the way it was edited that kind of confused me because I was like, are we getting to the point?
I think it's because the conversation happened off screen, off camera, and they picked it up on camera and made them talk about it again.
Right.
It was because it was just like very pitch patch. Like I was just like, it was very pitch patch on like what, like does he have a credit card? Does he not have one? That was my biggest thing.
He doesn't have one. He doesn't have one because he has bad credit. I think that was like, and that he has debt. But I will say what I said about that was I was like, well, joke's on you, bitch, because you should have talked about this in the pods. You wanted to be so willy-nilly.
She said they talked about it.
She said they did.
She
said they did, but it's like he told Johnny in the pods that he had credit card. He told Johnny in the pods that he had.
But I'm pretty sure that she knew that I think she would know that he had bad credit.
How would she know? How would she know? Like, but the fact that he felt comfortable enough to tell Johnny about it and he didn't feel comfortable enough to tell Stacy about it is concerning. But you wanted to be so fun and not deep, and we just have fun over here. Like that's what you get. That's what you motherfucking get, bitch. Now look, 2 days before the wedding, now you just found out that the man is broke. We all saw he was broke from fucking episode 1.
I mean, she literally was commenting on the paper plates and she didn't do any digging. It's just like, and that doesn't mean you're broke, because we know like black people love not doing dishes. Like I'm gonna use the paper if I can, but I think that like that's on her, to be honest. Like she does not. Okay, I am not going to be over here caping for Izzy. She does not create an environment where someone would feel. She creates an environment where I would feel financially judged, and I think that it was probably very scary for him to have to bring that to her, knowing that he's going to get rejected, he's going to get judged. Her family has said how materialistic she is and that matters to her. So he feels like afraid to lose the family connection he's gaining, to lose her love. She was judgmental about plates. Imagine if I tell her about my credit history 100%. And for him to be like emotionally vulnerable, and money is power and a lot of stuff for people. And he's working hard to for the first time in his life, have things financially, like, material things. I just think that like, I don't blame him for taking a little time and being nervous. Johnny created an emotionally safe environment where I think he felt less judged to be like, I'm broke or I'm rebuilding.
Yeah.
I think it's on her.
And I want y'all to, and I know somebody in the comments are saying like, do they not talk about it in the past? And from what Izzy said is, they initially, they have on the first day they have 15-minute dates, and then it kind of goes on by who you want to see, and then they say they kind of have different days delegated. So one day they'll talk about finances, another day they'll talk about family situations, and they'll kind of do it. Now we don't know how in depth they go, but I'm pretty sure production probably does put a battery pack in them on like, this is what you need to talk about today. Like, this is what you need to talk about today. I don't care how y'all talk about it, but this is the topic.
When you say put a battery pack in someone, it makes me laugh so hard. It's the way you say it. It's so fucking funny.
And like, production, like, is, they'll push them to do a little something. But yeah, that's all I had on that topic, unless y'all had anything else.
No, I just think Stacy don't like him. And that's fine. And they're not a good match.
Do you think they're gonna make it?
I don't, and no. I don't think they're gonna get married, and I think that Izzy is gonna say no first. That's just
I can see that.
I hope the production allows him to say that. I hope production gives that to him. I feel like, God, someone has been commenting and like saying about how her family is classist. I think that her family is just in their own class and and act accordingly. And I think he's in his own class and acts accordingly. I think that like people are as down to earth as like their budget allows them to be. And maybe as much as their friend group. Like, I just think I don't judge her family. I think her dad was really nice. I like her dad. Her dad seemed like he really tried to like approach the difference in finances in a way that didn't make Izzy feel like poor.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think her dad really tried.
When we initially saw the previews, right, when he's like, sometimes love wants to fly first class. We thought he was talking about Izzy wanting to fly first class off of Stacy, but he was actually saying, no, this is what my daughter likes and this is what she's going to need. I thought her family was very nice to him. I thought like even at the wedding dress shopping, they were like, oh yeah, like we love him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though they're in different class systems, I think that they were still... I didn't think they were rude to him in any way. I thought they were fair.
Someone is commenting about how they acted about him not having a passport. We're not going to talk about this, but we can talk about it at a later time. The bougie black folk crowd, young-ish professional crowd that will shame you for not having a passport or not being...
Absolutely. That's definitely...
past summer. So y'all, let's chill.
We'll bring that back.
We'll
say that for another time. And y'all, so you got something? Or... I was about to move on to the next topic.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm ready for the next one.
I was trying to get through all the big topics before Ricky has to leave.
Oh, yeah. We have a hard out at 8.
7:30. So we got like 30 minutes with her. The next big topic is Lydia and Milton. This is starting at the party, and then this is going to the family. I do want to mention the fact that everything that they said that Lydia did, I'm sure she's done it, because the way she ain't really try to defend herself at that party when Johnny was asking her about what was going on, she did it. Like she was like Johnny was like, well, Johnny was like, did you she was like, yeah, Uche said that she was like trying to get on the show. Like he said you had told somebody that you thought he was gonna be here. She's being very messy, and she's like, how would I know that? And I, and he was like, oh, he's like, I don't know. She did everything she said. Like she just like, even the way
she just admitted it. If she would have just admitted that and been like, yeah, I came here because I thought it was going to be something. And look, I found someone even fucking better. She would have shut the whole shit down, but she's not capable of that. I don't think.
She did not. Like, she did everything. And I knew she was guilty when the way she stormed from the table last week. I knew she was guilty. like, I mean, guilty people don't act that way. I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't get up from the table. I'm not gonna discuss it like you know, guilty people get to acting like they they'll start making a scene.
My
But
thing is that my I won't say hate because it's a strong word for Uche has made
it's
me
like,
like question what he has to say about Lydia, because what I have noticed about Uche is that he finds solace in the gray area. So now I'm like, what gray area was going on between you and Lydia where you thought, okay, I can take this and blow it out of proportion? Because when
Yep.
Lydia said, when he was like, oh, you were driving by my house and sending pictures, and she's like, come on, Uche, like, we were having a conversation. It could have been like they were talking and she was driving by like, oh, I see you, hi. Like, how many times have you done, like, you know what I mean, to somebody? Like, and so I feel like he may have
Yep.
taken that and then like blown it out of proportion. Like, I feel like maybe one person said, who's this girl watching my stories? And he was like, so many people said that you were watching my story. Like, I feel like he's taking a gray area and he's blowing it out. I don't think she followed him to the show. I feel like that's a narrative that he's running with. And until he shows us some motherfucking receipts, fuck you, Uche. Sorry.
I don't know if she followed him, but
Ricky,
I
I
do.
do
wait,
think
I
Rob, can
I
I
do
say
think
one?
Lydia's crazy though. I do think
Go
she's
ahead.
batshit crazy, and I do think she would
I
marry a
think,
rock if he proposed to her. But yeah.
well, she likes rock. She's a geologist, so that would be
Yes,
like
yes,
probably
she would
like
marry a snail, bitch, if it proposed. So I do think that she's desperate, but I do think that Uche is trying to give her the crazy girl edit all of a sudden. Because before you it
he's
was
trying to
sunshine
give
and
her the
fucking
crazy girl
rainbows.
edit for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest
I
with you.
agree with you. And when you
She
said
looks
the
crazy
gray
without the
area,
Uche edit.
though,
Okay, so what do you think makes
I
her
think
look
with
crazy,
Alia,
Ron?
I think her and Alia could have been like crazy before Uche said anything, because it was like, y'all are, but do you want her instead? And no shade if you do, because it did seem like that. But when Ricky, when you said the gray area he exists in, to me, the best example of that is him making it about the fact that she was looking through his phone and found out he was cheating on her versus the fact that he was cheating on her. So if you notice when he talks about it in a conversation, even with her, he was like, well, when you asked me about it, I divulged everything to you. And then when I asked you how you knew, you said you had an intuition, but that's not true. That is what crazy narcissists will do to you. They will make it about the fact that you went looking through my phone, though. It's like you were fucking someone else, but you looked through my
But were they
phone. And so if
together
you
is the
notice, he
big
never talks about
question.
But see,
if he
now
feels the need to
how
have to admit that to her.
yeah, but how Uche was like, oh, do you have a job? Do you not have a job? In my video, I was like, were you in a relationship with Lydia? Were you not in a relationship with Lydia? Was Lydia crazy or was she a good person? Like, come on,
Oh
sir.
my
We
God,
could do
Ricky,
the
I
same
love
I
thing
don't,
over
you.
here.
because y'all know my theory from last week is I don't believe they were in a relationship. I believe they were casually dating. I believe in her
I
head it
believe
was.
that too.
I
I
believe
believe
it.
that too. But
So
in
if
the
it's
show,
casually
all
dating,
throughout the
but if
show,
it's
he was
casually
saying
dating, is it
relationship.
cheating?
He said relationship though. Like
If
when
she
he was
asked him
talking,
about
he was
it,
saying relationship.
But I feel like it was
and
casually dating.
if he but Rob, if she asked him about it and he lied, there's a lot of people who are casually dating and have different expectations for like honesty. You could be casually dating and be like, let me know if you start sleeping with other people because I want to be able to change how I move.
But
And a
would
lot
y'all
of people
consider that
sometimes
cheating
don't
though?
want to tell you that.
If y'all was in a situation, would y'all consider
It
that
depends
cheating?
on whatever the two people agree on. If
True.
I'm surprised to find out that you're fucking somebody else and you feel the need to have to admit that to me and then you apologize, I think that there's some deception going on. And so you're trying to say, is it cheating because of a technicality? He had someone looking through his phone and he felt the need to be like, oh, whoa, I'm moving and you don't know about it. I think he's a dishonest ass person. I think he's a control freak, and he would never allow a woman to opt in to the type of relationship he really wants to have because that's not fun for him.
Because somebody
Y'all
talking
know I
about
hate
how much.
him.
So y'all saying how much Uche gave me. I'm playing devil's advocate, y'all. I truly, because in my opinion, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I believe they had two different ideas of what the relationship was. In his head, they're
Fair.
casually dating. In her head, he was
Is
filling
it
it up.
casual if you come back and fuck me 3 different times though, like for spurts of
I
time?
feel like
Like,
that's casual. Oh,
are we
shoot.
just they're just
Oh,
messy. They're just messy. I think that he's as messy as she is, and I think this last two episodes showed me how messy Uche actually is, and that it's not just Lydia. He was
because I
giving Lydia something to go off of. I think they
and
spiral
I
each
think,
other.
and also at the same time, you got to remember she was going through a loss as well. So I feel like he was. It's the glare, y'all. My glasses. I think she was going through a thing, and he didn't want to tell her feelings. In my opinion, that's what I think.
Okay,
he said he was trying to be the nice guy, but nice guys need to be honest. Just be who you are. Let people. She's a big fucking girl.
Oh, not
She'll
saying
deal
he
with
ain't
it. Like,
no, not saying he's right about it. I'm just saying that's what I think it is now.
that's the same shit JP said. JP goes, I'm just trying to be the nice guy.
Yeah,
Aren't you, JP?
I don't know. I don't think the thing is even when he's explaining situations to the cast, he was saying relationship, and he said they casually dated after the fact. So it's like you have to pick one. It can't be a relationship when you want to act like this girl was being crazy on you, and be casual dating when it works for your benefit and you say that you didn't cheat. Like, which one is it? Because you're saying two things. Now, do I believe that Lydia is the type of bitch like you're talking to her for 2 hours and she thinks you guys are going to get married? Sure. Yeah. She definitely gives those vibes. Now, do I think she probably misunderstood their relationship and thought, oh, he loves me because he's come back to fuck me 3 times? Sure. Do I think that Uche was probably in the gray area and didn't properly explain to this woman where they're at and where they stand? Because if you just fucking somebody, you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie at all. You'd be like, bitch, I'm fucking her. So if you felt there was a need to sneak and go around and lie,
I feel like he was doing it to save her feelings. I feel like she was going through a lot. He did to save her feelings.
He was not trying to save her feelings.
He was like, I feel like
he did it for himself. I think he did it because he didn't want to deal with it. I don't think he did it to make it about her. He said he liked that when he met her, she needed him. He liked that she was vulnerable and going through a hard time, and it felt like he served a purpose. And then once she started healing and getting friends and everything, he would come out. You all know when you get your life together and that ex comes back around and you're like, damn, it's kind of funny when shit's going good, someone pops up. You got to like bop them like a whack-a-mole or whatever the fuck people do now. Like, don't let them come back and ruin your shit. Like, and I think Lydia just stopped the cycle. Maybe she did follow him on the show, but like, he found a different match, and that's a blessing.
He did. He found a different match, and I definitely do that.
But what proof do we have that Lydia followed him? Because you notice that when Uche said it, he said it to the girls. Like, he said, like, oh, like she said to one of you guys that she was gonna run into her ex. None of them said, unless production cut that out. None of them were like, oh, she did say that. We do. Nobody heard her.
Right.
Nobody
said she did say that. But none of them said she didn't say that. I will.
That's true.
Because
so that's what I'm saying.
I don't feel like she went on there saying I'm gonna go follow Uche, but I do feel like she low key kind of put a bug in it. Like somebody was like, "Oh, Uche applied for that dating show, that new dating show. Love is Blind. It's gonna be here." And she was like, "Oh, I might as well apply for it too."
Everyone knows when it's in their city.
I don't think she. I don't think she intentionally went on the show to find him. I do think she. I think she applied because she was like she heard, but I don't think she went on there.
But this season
to meet him.
Nobody applied.
I think she got his number. She could have easily called him. But
everybody was recruited this season, so that's why I'm like production. This was all production. Everybody was recruited. Nobody applied and filled out an application. They were recruited. And Alia.
So, Ricky, that's a good thing to let people believe, because it's better for people to believe the lie than to know the truth, because so much of that lie being questionable has fueled a storyline. So, Ricky, if what you're saying is like, oh, production could easily come out and say something. They have about all the lawsuit allegations. They've decided to speak on that. So they could have spoke on this, but this is why we're watching.
Right.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna move up because I know we got like 15 minutes more with Ricky.
We gotta wait. Someone asked about Milton's sister.
That's what we're going to. That's what I was getting to. That's why I was getting to the point that we're gonna talk about Milton's family, and Aisha don't like them, y'all. Let me.
I'm not about y'all. Okay, I'm sensitive, so if y'all eat me up in the comments, it's okay. I'm gonna just like scroll past them. I don't like Milton. In the way that a scene was shown, I didn't really care for Milton's mom or his sister. And later on, when Milton had a conversation with his sister, I like that he talked about his family's approach being logic, not emotions. And personally, I'm highly emotional. So I think what I was feeling was the lack of emotional space, breathing room in his family. His mom just rubbed me the wrong way. I think his sister seems fun. I'd go to brunch with her, but she seemed kind of like a hater. And when they were at lunch, she seemed stressed out by her own fucking life. And I think that when you have friends or family who are like living in the reality of marriage and work and a little baby, they're feeling it. And I think she's trying to give him a reality check of like, this shit is hard. But girl, it's like his life isn't going to be as hard maybe as yours. And so I like that he spoke up to his sister at lunch and they seemed to have a loving relationship, but he was more expressive. I don't think his family gave him the space in that house to be like, to grow up. They treat him like a fucking child, and I know he's young, but he like regresses back into being a little kid when he's in their presence. And I just didn't really vibe with his mom. I would not want her as a mother-in-law.
Now, let me just say this.
And I don't think she's mean. I don't think she's mean.
Let's be very. I feel like we have to be practical, y'all. In our mindset, I don't feel like this is like black people. To black people, I feel like this is crazy. Like if I explain this to my parents, they would probably have the same reaction. Like I feel like this is like kind of socially more acceptable in the white.
No, we saw Brett and Tiffany. Brett and Tiffany's family were like.
I think it's so different. But like when you know black people, y'all know black
how
people.
How is it different?
I personally.
No, Brett's
but I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general.
His brother.
I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying I think black people are a little bit more like they are not as approachable in these situations as white people are.
But Rob, talk about the black families we've seen on the show though, because I think we've seen. I agree with you, but I think on the show we've seen examples of black families who are open.
Mind, but I just think I'm just talking in just perspective. A lot of people are like traditional. Like
oh my god! Can someone put the hat on him again so I can take it? Can I get a photo, Rob? You look so good with that hat.
Because traditional black people are just don't really like traditional black people are not going to be like, oh yeah, like it's just not something. Okay, did you get it? You missed it. It's just not something. Also, at the same time, I don't feel like his mom did too much. My mom would do probably the same thing, and I think
she didn't do enough. She had no emotions.
I just feel like they were kind of like, this is really phony. I feel like they were thinking this was very for much for the TVs, which I ain't gonna lie. A lot of this stuff looks like it's for the TV. So this is your child. This is your baby boy. Like his mom was very nice. Also, y'all, Lydia was doing too much with the cussing in the household.
She was.
I think that really turned his family off too. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm happy she was comfortable.
He should have prepped her though. He should have prepped her. That's on him for not saying how my family is.
No. I don't feel like you just initially go to somebody's house and start cussing. I don't feel like
she's not from this. She's not from here. She's from a different She's from Puerto Rico, so I think that like when you meet someone's family for the first time, I think you gotta like, if you know your family's a little bit not conservative, but a little bit more restrained, just let someone who's loud and vibrant know, be yourself, but maybe like feel it out.
No, you have to read the room, and there was she did not read the room. There was nothing about that said she needs to cuss.
Yeah, that's true.
She was too comfortable. Like when she said, "Oh,"
every time she cussed, I was like this,
and she's not black. Like I think it's a black thing. Like we all know, like you don't cuss in people's mama's house. Like you just don't do that.
I just feel like you read the room, and I feel like
my husband cussed in front of my mom.
You said what?
See, it's a black thing.
That's how white people.
My husband cussed in front of my mom and my stepdad, and he's white, and it is white people shit. And I was like looking around like this, like, and it's not even like vulgar. It'll just be expressive. And I know Puerto Ricans are Americans, but culturally, Puerto Rico has its own culture. It's not like American.
Like the whole thing. And, it's just like, and I said, even with the whole thing, I feel like you have to read the room in the situation. Like, Grinch, you want to come in, welcome in. But the way the mother was looking, she was not, she didn't, she
and
was
they're
not.
in the South. Aren't they? They're in Texas too. So it's all Southern hospitality.
Is that the South for real? Is that the South for real?
I think the South, my family's from Mississippi, and it's very much a Southern, all people.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm very like territorial with South. I think the South is Tennessee down, Mississippi over, Florida up. That's how I see the South. I know y'all saying that geographically it's the South, but in my mind, Mississippi over is the South.
You're like, it's not. Texas to me is the South in the sense that, like, regardless of race, like, everybody will say ma'am.
Like geographic wise, I definitely think it's the South. But it's South. But like to me, it's just not the South. But we're not getting on there. We're not getting to that. We're talking about those.
But what did y'all think about his the conversation he had with his sister, like the second one when they went to lunch or whatever? What did y'all think about that?
I think he was kind of more open to the fact of like expressing his feelings. Also, I think it was very weird. Like, I don't know, like maybe just because he's 24, like I feel like you got to kind of man up in the point of like telling why you want to get married, because I feel like the way he was reacting and responding was another reason why they thought it was phony. Because if you can't get a clear answer, If you can't get a clear answer, so why you want to marry this woman that you're marrying in like 7 days,
And
then
It comes off as
it
give
comes
an
immature.
off as
answer
very phony.
either.
Like when he was like,
True.
when his sister was like, "Oh, Milton, do you think you're ready for marriage?" And he's like, "Stop asking me questions." I
Right.
said
Right, but
I hated that for
Also
him.
couldn't give an answer. Like, why do you want to
she
marry
could get
him?
like
Why do you love him? Like, oh, because he sends me text messages at night. Like, bitch, that's it. That's it. That's all you got. The bars in hell.
no,
Okay, like what the fuck?
when she's like, he sent me text messages, I was
Ricky.
like, this. And then when his mom was
Oh
like,
my
"Oh, you're giving
god.
me a script," she was absolutely right. I feel like nothing, like everything she said, she wrote in her notes app because there was nothing that gave me authentic. Like they've been playing lovey dovey on camera all this whole time. They've been doing all that. They've been sucking up to each other, being intimate and stuff. And now you in front of his parents and you don't know what to say. No, it
Can
was
I
very
just
wrong.
say, as someone who is emotion like I'm more like Lydia than than like Milton's family. I
Mhm.
think that you can be nervous to like his mom isn't warm, and I'm not saying she needs to be. People aren't warm and fuzzy, but like I think meeting his family for the first time. One, she's also older, so I think being 30 and meeting his family, she's not going to be shook in the same way that someone maybe 23 is meeting the family.
Mhm.
Like she's a grown ass woman, established, has a life, and she's getting vetted because she still happens to be marrying someone who's young. And so I
Mhm.
think that it's having to like understand where his family's coming from, but she's fucking grown. If she was meeting someone 30 or older, their family, they wouldn't have been asking her the same questions in the same way.
That's
I
true.
think they would have.
Absolutely.
I think they treated her. Okay, y'all tell me if you think I sound crazy. I
Go
think
ahead.
they treated her because of her being Puerto Rican. I think they treated her like a 90-day fiance and didn't treat her like she's fucking educated and has her own. And it was him having, when he talked to his sister, he was like, she has an educational background that matters. And that was something his mom liked. When his
Was
mom heard
impressed
that she
by it,
was in
yeah.
STEM, she connected with it because that's what she respects. But I think they were kind of like, who's this chick coming into my young ass son? Why does a 30-year
I
old?
think they
I
could
don't
I
know.
think it
I
was
just
more age. I think it was
desperation.
more age
They
than
could smell the desperation
maybe.
coming
You
off of
think she's like
fucking
that
Lydia.
desperate?
Yes.
yes.
She's desperate as fuck. She's desperate. It does not matter. Milton could have been 21 and she would have found a way to make that make sense in her 35-year-old brain. Like she just wants to marry anyone, just like Chelsea from last season. It didn't fucking marry. It didn't matter who it was. Like you're gonna get fucking married. So
Even
I
though
do.
she said that she's dated older guys and they're also not like showing up as like mature
But
as
what?
him.
But like,
He
I'm
had
sorry, but like Milton hasn't really shown me mature. He's only shown me emotionless. That does not equate to mature. You know what I mean? And I think that because Milton doesn't show emotion, she's like, oh, he's so mature. No, Milton is a child. He's a boy. Like, and she clearly calls him that. Oh, you're a boy. You can't pick up after yourself. You can't do this. You can't do that. But Lydia wants to get married. However, I don't think that the smoke that the family had for her was warranted. Like at the end of the day, your son signed up for this show. Your son
But
decided to
also
do
at the
this.
same time, I think you had to put in perspective. This is family. Like y'all have to put in perspective. If your son, who is 24, probably fresh out of college, brings home a 30-year-old woman that he met in the pods 10 days ago, talking about, oh, we're gonna get married, how would you respect? Like it looks very
I
phony
would
to
think
me.
it was
I
fake.
think it's
I
very
would think
phony
it
to
was
me
fake.
because first of all, my biggest question is why can't you find? I get the whole thing, but also it's like so much. If you can't give me a clear answer of why you love each other and y'all talking about y'all getting married, y'all want me married in two
That's
weeks.
true.
I just think that from that spring it's
But
become
they
of
were
a
at least consistent. To me,
they
I
were
like, okay, y'all,
consistent.
I like them together. Out of the pods, I thought Lydia was desperate and I thought that he was her second choice, but seeing the way they interact and the way that I don't think she's like mature. So like, let's just
She's
say
not
that.
mature
I
at
think
all.
that
She's
like
not.
they're closer together. I do think she's like, don't mother him. Like, I think he's a 24-year-old and his shit is laying everywhere. She kind of could take that mother role. And I could see him
She
liking
likes
that
that.
because his mom isn't as
And I'm gonna be honest,
emotive.
and I
So
understand
he may like that.
and she has control issues. I don't know if y'all have read the
Yeah.
room. She has serious control issues that I don't think would go over well on a
Like
30-year
what?
old man. I think
Like what?
the way at the table, I was very like shocked. Also, that like for example, the whole situation with the clothing, I feel like she likes that sense of control because I haven't seen Milton really stand up to her besides the table scene. Now, I'm not saying what we don't see in private, but I will say,
Yeah.
like, I don't feel like there's ever been a firm, like, put his foot down. And I feel like I just don't, and like, I feel like she always has to have like a control mentality. And I feel like when Milton did express his concerns, it becomes I'm a victim. I'm a victim. This is how I am. Now, we're going to talk about the whole situation at the table because it kind of irritated me because, first of all, if you're gonna correct, I'm one of those people. If you're gonna tell me some constructive criticism and I'm fine with it, and I tell you that, and then all of a sudden you have excuses, don't give me constructive criticism because we're not on the same, on the same path. And I think she was being very manipulative, and with this whole situation with like when he was like trying to tell her, oh, like I didn't like the way you handled that situation, and instead of saying, okay, I accept that feedback, granted you, like, I'm still learning how to do better for myself. Like, I don't know it. It was full of excuses. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm emotional. I think I handle myself very well. And I think it's very manipulative. Like, she wants to cry and she wants him to go run and check on her. And then it was just I just think she's just not mature. I really don't think she's mature.
Okay, I have a difference of opinion there because
Go
for
ahead.
me, with Milton and Lydia's fight, like I feel it's one thing. Like Milton had a point where he said, like, okay, if you can tell me what bothers you about me, and vice versa, it should be vice versa. But my issue was like Lydia saying like you don't like that he doesn't pick up his clothes and you don't like that he picks up his plate. Like that is your actions directly affecting me. Milton saying I don't like the way you handled yourself in your situation. The way I handle myself with Uche does not directly affect you. Like me showing emotion literally like you can't just tell somebody don't show emotion, don't care, and then be like,
I'm not
okay,
saying
like
he don't care, but but my
You
thing about it
literally
is,
grew up with robots. That's why you don't show emotion because you grew up with robots and you are low key
Not him being
manipulative.
Gen Z
Like,
being the
you know what I
it,
problem.
mean?
no,
Like
but like
Milton gives
Ricky,
me
it did
daughter vibes.
affect
I
him
know
though. That
people like
situation
it.
did. That situation affected him because he actually had to talk to Uche. So I definitely like
But how
they
does
knew each
me
other.
showing my emotions to Uche affect you, Milton?
But she
Just
literally
because
got.
how
She literally acted a fool. Like Ricky.
she
She's
didn't
at that
really
thing
act
grabbing him.
fool.
She's
Like
out there snatching him. She's snatching him out
but
the
how do
party
you
with him.
tell
She's
somebody, Robert?
snatching
How
him.
do you tell somebody act like me? Like you
I'm
think
not
I'm gonna wave
saying
a
no.
wand
He
and be
wasn't.
like, "Don't be
I don't think he was
emotional"?
saying. I don't think he was saying act like me. But
He
also at the
literally
same
said
time,
those words.
she
He
at the party
literally
doing
told
this.
her, "You need to act more like me."
She at
He
the part.
literally
She's
said that.
snatching him up. She was at the doggone party snatching him up from Uche, so she was
Yeah,
definitely
but she
involved.
said he literally said you need to act more like me. And I don't think it's that easy to tell somebody you need to be more, you need to like not let your emotions get involved. Like it's not that easy.
I
Like if
don't think he said. I
I
don't think he
would
said it
rather
like
be an
that.
Agree.
overly emotional person than a person like Milton who has no emotions. That shit is
Mm.
scary as fuck. Like,
I don't think so. I think she could
why
have
I
did
handled
think
you
it
I
let
better.
that
agree with you,
affect you?
Ricky.
Why did
I
you
do
let
agree
that
with Ricky.
affect you? You just shouldn't care.
I
Don't
think
let
that they're
people get.
I don't think they're healed enough to really have this conversation with each other because I think that she has personally probably grown a lot and he has not been there for that. So I think for her, she's actually proud of like her growth and how she handled it because it's better than where she started and he is like not there. And I think for Milton, he is expecting himself and other people. And I think that's unrealistic. And I think that's also immature. I think when you expect yourself and other people the way you are as a friend, the way you do X, Y, and Z, that's not who she is. And she's never portrayed that. I think what he was trying to get to is I see someone who doesn't matter to you impacting you in a way that they don't even deserve to be able to get that out of you. But I don't think he was able to express it because the way that he said it was like an invalidation for her. So then I get defensive like that too. So I think that like they need to have this conversation with a therapist who would give them a pause and allow them to really hear what the other person is saying because I think they want the same thing. And I do think they're going to work out because I think that they want the same thing. They just need to learn how to communicate.
You think
And
they're
he
gonna
puts a
work
lot of
out long
value on
term?
emotions. Does anyone work out long term? You only know
That's
until
a
you
good
die,
point.
right? Like I think that they'll work out. I think that they'll be together for at least longer than some of the season forecasts. But I think he puts value on emotions being expressed. And he says, you have to be real close to me to get this emotion. And everyone's not fucking like that. Somebody can get this work today. You can get the energy. And I think that they're going to take time to get to learn each other and meet in the middle.
My thing about
I
it
don't think it's
is,
gonna work out,
what
but
was wrong with
I
him
agree with what you're
expressing
saying.
that he did not like the way that he liked her? He responded.
Nothing
No,
is
I'm not
wrong
saying
with
that
him
there's
But
expressing
anything
my
that,
thing
Rob.
about it was, my thing about it is, she literally gave him criticism. She literally gave him criticism. He took it. I don't feel like he took it in a bad way of where he was like defiant. But my thing about it was, why couldn't she take it the same? Like if she said,
Rob,
she
he
literally
handled
said,
it better.
no,
Some people handle it
wait.
better than others.
She said, he literally said, I think you could have handled that situation better. She literally got upset and started crying. It really wasn't a situation. I feel like I feel like it was one of those things was, okay, you know what? I might not have handled myself the best, but she literally got all worked up, emotional for what
She wanted
reason? She
validation.
can't
She
accept it.
wanted him to say, she wanted him to say, to validate how she handled it and to not make her feel wrong.
No, if she was
Like
wrong,
it's a
she was
feelings
wrong.
game.
But if she was wrong, she was wrong. Like, she was literally at that party acting a fool. And what did y'all
She
want
was
him to
wrong to
do?
who though?
Huh?
I'm not saying that she was right, but I'm not saying she was right, but in her opinion, it's kind of like Uche. Uche may feel like he handled himself fine. We may not agree, but if Lydia can stand behind how she acted and she's fine with it, it's kind
But
of like
she
you're
shouldn't
making that
stand.
person a
But
problem for you.
but if somebody you with is telling you they did not like the way you acted at that party, I feel like at 30 years old, you should be like able to react, like reevaluate what you said. Like, you should have been like, you know what? Once I got
Should.
up, I should have left. When I got up, I should have left. When you
But
had that
none of these
conversation.
people are capable of doing that.
No, and then
None of
it's
the
just
cast
like,
that
I
are
don't
over
know.
30.
I
But
don't know. Maybe the thing
also,
that really,
like Lydia,
maybe the thing that
like
really
if
triggered me was like when she really was like, "Come on, grab me! Don't grab me! I'm
Yeah,
having
I
a
didn't
whole
like that. I
conversation.
didn't like that at
Don't
all.
grab me!
I
right.
Like,
hated
don't
that.
But
grab me!
it's
I don't.
also like
I'm
Especially
it's
because
capable.
also
he
for
didn't do
Lydia.
that to
It's like
her.
don't grab me now because like don't grab me now because I tried to get you out of this conversation when I said
That.
we
More
gotta go
time.
in 10 minutes
Don't
and you
grab me.
fucking shooed me away and then
Like,
now
don't do
you
that.
want to
And he
come
I
walked
snatch
don't
me
away
like
up.
and
that.
he respected her immediately. Immediately he said okay and he walked away. I didn't like that she didn't give him that respect and she doesn't give him that respect.
She doesn't
And
respect
she
him.
just controlling, demanding. Yeah.
And it
I
was
didn't
like,
like
my
She
that
thing
she
doesn't
about
grabbed
it
his
is,
respect him.
you
emotional
should
way.
trust your partner enough to know when the situation is going bad. Like, my thing
They don't
about it
trust
is,
each other. It's
like,
been 3 weeks.
because my
They
thing
don't
about
trust.
it is, if you know how Milton is, you see how that conversation did not affect him. Like, that conversation did not change his
Yeah.
perspective. He sat there and listened to it because, you know what? If I listen to this fool right now, I ain't gotta listen to it again
Yep.
later on.
Right,
I know
that's
how
true.
Yep.
I know how my woman is. I know what it is. I take what he said by a grain of salt and I'll keep it moving. But my thing about it is, you can't dish it out and not be able to take it. Like, she literally acted like,
She
I feel
wanted to
like
control the
she
situation.
wanted to
She
control the
wanted to
narrative of she
control
was wrong.
Uche's access to her man, and Uche wanted to control Milton's access to his ex. Her and Uche are having a chess match, and poor Milton, is just the little like pawn. They're both
Ricky, it's your time.
flexing with
It's
him.
okay. I know. I see it.
You
I'll
good.
do 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay,
this
let's
is
move
too
to our
late.
next thing.
Okay,
That's
and now
probably too late.
we're gonna do behind the scenes, and then we're gonna probably wrap that up with Ricky, and then get on the call line with the rest of whoever wants to jump on. Ricky, you want to start with behind the scenes because you really know more than what we know.
I know
Okay.
Ricky has all the tea, y'all. Go to her
All the
page, run
tea.
up the videos.
Okay,
That's all
We're
I'm
on
gonna say.
topic number 6, y'all. 6.
Okay, guys. So, do you guys know what's going on behind the scenes? Like, have you guys been hearing? Like, if you don't know, there were 5 couples that actually went to Mexico. Like, everybody was confused that we only saw 3 couples, but actually 5 couples did go to Mexico. Carter and Renee were in Mexico. They went all the way to the aisle, but their story was cut out. However, we still do see Carter and Renee in some shots here and there. The 5th couple, like you guys can see there in Aisha's background, that's Renee. She's dress shopping. That's her mom. Those are her friends. So we'll get into why they were allegedly cut out of the storyline, but there is a 5th couple, you guys, who was completely scrubbed from the series, like completely scrubbed. You're not going to see them in any background footage. You're not going to see them in the casting list. You're not going to see them anywhere. They were completely scrubbed because the female contestant is suing Kinetic for SA. Nobody say it in the comments because we don't want to get this live banned and taken down. Yeah, you guys know what SA is, and for false imprisonment.
False
Or
imprisonment.
whatever. So she's saying that her fiance SA'd her in Mexico. And so she's currently suing Kinetic. So they had to completely remove them from any and all scenes. Yes.
She also made the claims that production really didn't provide enough food. Allegedly, they also were providing a lot of liquor. She also said they were like monitor her 24 hours, saying that they really could not do anything without somebody like following them. Allegedly. What else did she say? She also said that
She's alleging
she also
that
said that she told production.
she thinks that the assault was likely caught on camera. That's like that. The creator of Love is Blind did respond to it, and basically, he gave
Denied
his
everything.
like little statement or whatever, and he basically said that that's bullshit, that they don't film around the clock, that there's times that they're left alone. So he's implying that it wasn't caught on camera, but she said that she wasn't like a very assertive person, and she was just kind of shocked that like production could kind of know what was going on and being filmed, and like they didn't step in and say anything. She said that she did tell production the next day, and that production basically told her that it was her fault for not communicating effectively.
Then they said production told the guy that did it to her, and he was like called her and was like kind of going off on her about like expressing that to production. And honestly, y'all, in my personal opinion, I believe everything that she said, because I feel like once a person says something, okay, but once multiple claims are made about certain things, I'm tend to believe it. The whole food situation, I believe the food situation. They have come out. People have come out before and said that they did not have food, but they were providing alcohol.
Nick's whole lawsuit.
Yeah, was providing alcohol to like kind of encourage them to have more conversation. Absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe the whole production is sitting outside. They won't let them do anything because I don't know if y'all know, but when
Danielle said that.
Danielle and Nick, when they got into that argument on their honeymoon, production was outside the door. The production was outside the door. They said they could not leave. That's when Danielle had that panic attack, and I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I respectfully did call her dramatic, but there was more to the scene, and I do apologize for that. Like it was more scenes. Yeah. Also, another thing I did not like, the creator was like, they have people walk them to the bathroom, and my thing about that is, why they're not separate? Like, why, like, walking somebody to the bathroom is kind of insane to me. Like, are we in kindergarten? And like the way he said it, but I'm just not. I don't see any denial. Also, I don't believe that something happened and she did not say anything. That's just in my mind. I feel like she said something because that's just. I believe production was outside the door. That's my opinion. I believe production was out the door.
Can you say anything about so people are commenting and wondering about why other cast members may have not said something, and I know you have a lot of knowledge about like the NDAs and what they may be allowed to say or what they may not be allowed to say.
As far as why she didn't say anything, or why any of the
why no one else on the cast is commenting about the couple.
Oh, so no one on the cast is commenting about the couple because this was supposed to be like very hush hush. Like it was not. I knew about it last week, but I didn't say nothing about it because it was not public. And the cast was told that if they said anything about couple 5 or even alluded to the fact that there was a couple 5, that everybody would get fucking sued. So
and someone asked actually about the food stuff too.
a little birdie was sending the legal file out to a few bloggers, sent it to me. So I knew about this lawsuit, like I said, and somebody from the cast sold the story to People Magazine, which is why it came out. So this was all supposed to be very, very hush hush, but People Magazine got a hold of it because some broke trifling cast member sold the story. So that's why in my video I bleeped out the names, because I knew that the victim, the female victim, did not want her name out there. Like,
Hence why I didn't say it as well. I don't know. A lot of people No, it's nobody on this season that said it, y'all.
Nobody on this season.
Nobody on this season, like nobody on this season reported it to
Nobody on
people.
this season sold it to people.
Let's dead that. Let's dead that because
Yeah.
you said broke, and that's a lot of people on this season, but it ain't nobody on this season, y'all. I just
They
want to let
said,
you know.
is he? No, just because I
No,
said broke
it's
does not
nobody on
mean
this cast. It's somebody from a previous season who reported this to People Magazine. Let me just say it like
he
that.
allegedly sold it to people. So that's why nobody on the cast has
Y'all
really
want to
said.
guess in the comments? Let's put your best guess in the comments. Not that we're gonna like know or anything.
Now we're not
Put
going to
your
say
best guess.
anything,
I
but
saw Shane. That'd be so funny if it was Shane, y'all.
No, it was.
I think
No,
Shane would tell us.
I'm not gonna say who it was, but that's why nobody from the cast has really like spoken about it because it was supposed to be very hush hush. They were told that they would get sued if it even came. So it's really crazy that it all came out. But my whole thing is like, this girl was making a lot of the same claims that Nick made in his lawsuit, and their lawsuits were actually filed around the same time. So it's not like this girl knew what was in Nick's lawsuit. My whole thing with Nick's lawsuit is like he let his season air. He, got what he could from the season. Then it's like you came out saying that you were broke and couldn't get a job, and then you sued Netflix. So to me,
like I ain't gonna lie, the Nick
his
thing kind
was a
of
cash
blew.
grab.
It
This
was very
girl
unfair.
left the show, filed her lawsuit, and wanted no parts of the show. She didn't want to be aired. She didn't want it to come out. She didn't want to be associated in any way. So it's like, I know what she's saying is true. Cast members have confirmed that what she's saying is 100% true, and that production made her stay, or at least made her feel like she had to stay to film
Allegedly,
that
we
final
all saying
scene.
it's an alleged list.
Yeah.
Allegedly. But
Y'all,
yeah.
it is so crazy. I'm in Seattle and I just got a text message from someone like, "Are you okay?" And apparently there was just a 4.2 earthquake, like north.
Oh, you didn't feel that?
So I mean, I've never been in an earthquake because I'm from
So you wouldn't know.
Chicago, so I just know a like tornado. But I'm like, oh my god, if shit starts shaking, I'm gonna take the phone outside and finish the live.
But yeah, y'all, I ain't gonna
Oh
lie, it
my
was a lot of
gosh,
behind the scenes stuff this season, which is why it looks
they're
fuller
not
on.
gonna survive.
It's really not like
I don't think Love Is Blind can survive this.
Season 6 and 7 are already filmed, so it's like unless they're going to completely scrap those seasons, I don't know. But I do think that this may be like leaning towards the end because they're not protecting their cast. Now, who the thing is like Netflix is like defending this up the woozah. So who's to say what's in their contract? You know what I mean? They may sign in their contract that there's not going to be food, that there's not going to be water, that they're going to be in inhumane living conditions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you never know what they signed up for, you know?
because y'all, let's be real clear. You obviously can tell like they're really not going anywhere when it comes to Mexico because there's never anybody on the island. There's nobody on the beach. Like
Yeah.
you obviously can tell they're restricted to only certain areas. So it's just like a lot
When
of
do
this stuff
you
is
think
not
they
up to
scrapped
them.
Renee and Carter's like their storyline?
Renee,
Because Carter
Renee
is one of the guys that my friend thought she saw at the resort
So Renee
this summer.
said in her interview, like, I don't know if you guys seen Renee did an interview with Pop Sugar. She said that she found out in August that her story wasn't going to air. For those of you guys
That
that
tracks because my girlfriend thought she saw Carter at the resort, and she just sent me a photo of another dude. It's one that you knew of Ricky. I can't pronounce his name. It's with an E. She's like, I think I saw him
Enoch,
at the resort too, and I'm like, I don't know if he would have been there.
Enoch, yeah, they actually want to do a live, but yeah, yeah. So the reason, so the rumors behind why Carter and Renee storyline got cut is they're all over the place. So like on one end is that Carter was like awful and was like he didn't like the way he was being portrayed on camera. Apparently he was like yelling all the time and really angry all the time, and he didn't like how he was being portrayed, so he made some threats to production that they took very
Allegedly.
serious, allegedly, that they took very, very serious and decided to scrap their story. And I will say that somebody did confirm that with me. Somebody, directly associated with the situation confirmed and said that that was true, that he did make threats, and that's why they scrapped him. On the other end, It was Renee allegedly had a boyfriend the entire time during filming, and she eventually ended up getting married to that partner. But in her article, she said that she was not dating him during filming, but that she was dating him prior to filming and then rekindled after filming in October, she said, and then by March she was married. So I'll let you guys.
And my thing about it is,
Y'all
it had to
think
be
about
serious
that.
enough for them to cut it because, y'all, let's be honest with you. It takes production a lot to cut scenes from what we've seen. Like, let's be real. Production is using whatever they can on the table. So if production has to cut your scenes due to something, it's because it's very serious. Like,
Literally, she's getting the dress.
she's literally getting that. Like, for them to have to cut this and she's filmed at the wedding dress shop, it had to be enough to where it was bad enough. So,
Yeah.
I think the production dropped the ball. I'm not sure what happened, but I think they dropped the ball on not allowing us to see it play out to a certain extent because it would have made the season, I think, honest. And also, I think it would have shown that there are repercussions to coming on the show. Allegedly, if you already have a partner and you're trying to hustle the system, I think you need to show the downfall of that for somebody so that, because that's also not the new reality of what Love is Blind is. And also, it
But
looks fucking crazy that
I
she's
think
there. Carter's
the
getting the
rumors
tuck.
surrounding it were like, I know a lot of people, and I had thought when I had first heard it too, like I was like, oh well, why wouldn't production show that? Like that sounds like tea. But it was all after filming had wrapped. Like if the boyfriend agreed to let her go and she, you know what I mean? Like if they had an understanding, there's really no
Yeah.
tea there. You know what I mean? Like production's gonna be like, do you have a boyfriend? She gonna be like, no, and then ask her man, and he's like, no, we met after. Like there's no tea, especially if it was all after filming. Like there's nothing to film. Like there's no tea there.
Yeah.
All we have is a girl who allegedly faked her entire experience, and it's like that doesn't look very good on production. However, I do think it's like probably leaning more towards Carter and his threats, like because those were
it had to
like
be because
Yeah.
way more
it
serious.
just because y'all, I'm not gonna lie, they're not gonna sit there. Their production is trying to give you a top tier season. This is the least amount of couples we've ever had since the show has started.
It's not good. It's not good,
It's
y'all.
really
Only
like
following
you. We
200
only working
people.
off of two couples, and you know, y'all know, like I don't know if y'all like two couples, and it's like y'all can tell like it's a lot of back stuff that's just really happened to where it's just not shown.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like after production like had to obviously cut two couples and then they've seen what happened with Taylor and JP, like I feel like they probably should have scrapped this season because it's just like I can only imagine how boring next week's episodes are going to be with only two people. You know what I mean? Like two
It
couples.
needs to be, a
It's just
good
one episode.
it's
Yeah.
25. It needs to be 25 minutes. Like 25 minutes is all we need.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's like the
So, does anyone
behind the
have
scenes
questions
too.
for Ricky? Because
Yeah, do you
Ricky
guys have any
has
questions
to
for
dip
me?
out.
Because
Because
I'm about to go.
Yeah, because
But
I was trying to get
and
you out
then
of
some
here.
more behind the scenes tease also that Johnny and Chris broke up very shortly after filming. Chris allegedly had a girlfriend the whole time too, and like took a break from her to film. And allegedly, he told Johnny that he wanted to take a break, and then one of Johnny's friends seen him out with his new girlfriend. But that's just what a little birdie told me. Do what you want with that information. Um, and yeah, Chris does have a girlfriend, and that they've apparently been in a relationship for quite a while. But they took a little break
so
to go on the
everyone's
show.
trash.
Milton, we all know the Milton rumor that Milton had a girlfriend. He broke up with her 2 weeks before going on the show, and then called her back and let her know that he's engaged. So I don't know if you guys seen, but Myra, the one who was the minister, she's been in people's comments saying that the girl who was allegedly Milton's girlfriend, that they're best friends. So she's gonna come out and tell the tea on that, like I guess after the final episode. But so weird that so many people like knew each other like this season because she ended up being on the show and she said her best friend was like dating Milton. So she gonna tell the tea. That's messy for a minister. Okay, guys, do you guys have any questions for me? Because I'm about to leave.
Me and
Any
Aisha are gonna
audience
stay
folks
on.
want to ask Ricky a question?
I do got all the tea, guys. I'm trying to scroll up and look.
I
Ah!
know.
What did I do? Aaliyah's
interview. A lot of people
I've
are
seen
asking about
Aaliyah's
that.
interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I just seen the part where she said that Uche and her dated for like a month or two, and that he said that she wasn't his type or whatever. But Uche just said on his Instagram today that his last girlfriend was like a dark skinned woman. So
Uche's dark skinned. People have accused him of, well, there was the one scammer person accused him of being colorist. I think Uche gives us enough on the show to critique that we don't need to like reach for things that we don't even see on the show. So I have no like thoughts about him in that.
so did you guys talk about? Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to my little girls' Halloween night. Somebody
You have fun.
Somebody said no, we had plans first. That's so funny. That's true, actually. But you guys enjoy the. What do you guys still have to cover?
We're gonna talk. We're gonna have audience come on next, and we're gonna hear like we're gonna hear what they got to say, and then we'll probably wrap it up with hot topics if we can think of some.
Okay, well, I love you guys. I had so much fun. Bye, guys, in the comments. If you guys want more,
follow her. Follow Storytime with Ricky.
On the behind the scenes tea, I do have videos up about it, and I'll probably do like one quick like recap video with like all the tea in one video because there's like a bunch of tea. But I have some videos on the tea. I have tea on couple 5. I have tea on Renee and Carter and why their story got cut. So you guys go watch those, and I'll see you guys next week.
See you, Ricky.
Ricky, someone asked for the hair routine.
Meet each other in person.
We're
hanging out this weekend, y'all.
This weekend.
I have to give me a hotel before I say that, but I would.
And you guys might want to get Paige on. You guys might want to. I don't know if she's still in the live, but when you guys do audience, you guys might want to get Paige on, see if she has some tea. Yeah, and Johnny does have a new man. Johnny got a new man.
Someone asked for your hair routine. I think you have a video on your page.
She does have a
show.
I have a video on my page of like how I care for it, like as far as like products to keep it like healthy. But I don't have a like styling routine. But I do have one on like how I keep it like not damaged with the blonde. And I have a code too, so the code's in the video. So
we're meeting up in Atlanta. Let us know if you all are in the city.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See you, Ricky.
I'm gonna leave it on in the background as I drive so that I can like hear you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I can still hear you guys. So.
Okay.
Sweet. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you ready? Like, they want a Kentucky meetup.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know if I have enough fans in Kentucky to do a meetup respectfully. I don't know who watched my audience.
All you need is 10 people, Rob. 10.
I honestly would. I would do. I would if there are people in Kentucky who want to have a meetup, I would absolutely do it. I would love to plan that. Nikki, are you? Wow.
Nikki just said she's there.
She's Kentucky. I would. If somebody was like, oh, like I would definitely do that. I would definitely do that. Okay.
Another Kentucky person. Okay, we got this.
If y'all want to say something on here, I'm gonna give y'all the rules. I'm gonna give y'all the breakdown, y'all. We about to start getting audience questions. So if you want to get on this live, that's perfectly fine. If you start rambling, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna X you out. If your point is hard to come across, I'm gonna cut you out. If the audience really start to boo you really aggressively, I might have to cut you out, y'all. It's like Showtime at the Apollo. If you ain't making no sense, you gotta get off the live. And I do it. If y'all making a point, I will actually listen to it. If y'all are making a point, I will listen to it, regardless of the audience. If y'all making a point, but if y'all not making a point, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. So yeah. So I'm gonna take the first person. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay, she didn't want to get on. Okay. Next we got. Okay, Lisa, you on with us? How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Lucy. Yeah, we can hear you. Sound good.
Okay. I just want to talk about Izzy and his toilet plunger. Like, girl, it's giving he thinks of you as shit, as boo boo, as garbage. Why would she accept that when he was giving flowers every Monday? Like, it's not mathing. The math is not mathing. He don't have no money, so he's gonna buy you a toilet plunger, girl. The coin is not
It was
coining.
corny. I think it was in good faith.
Good faith of a toilet to tell her. That was very lackluster, if you will.
She stopped up the toilet in Mexico, so I think he was trying to get a
He was referring
sentimental
to that.
gift because she
Mm-mm.
she broke the toilet in Mexico, and I think that she kind of liked it because it was playful, and
It
she
was like
seemed like
it
at
was
that
it
time
was
she
romantic
needed
to
something
them.
sentimental.
It was romantic to
Yeah,
them. It
it
brought them
was
back.
like the little.
How is he affording that Jeep if he has so-called credit card debt?
Ain't gonna lie, he might got a friend to sign that loan. You get you a.
Well, people are saying it's a rental.
You can have a bad credit score and they'll still let you get a car.
They'll
It's just
still
going to
give
have
you a
a high
car
ass
now.
interest rate.
Mm.
They want you in debt. They're like, oh, we want. I mean, they're like, your interest rate is crazy high.
And my last thing, I feel like Lydia and Uche are the same person because to me they exhibit the same traits, and which is why I believe they was into each other from the get-go.
They do exhibit
I could see
manipulative
that.
traits,
But that's
especially
all I
like
had to say.
romantic
No lies
ways.
told.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for coming on.
Wait,
Thank
Lucy,
you.
question for you. Who do you think did too much in the argument, Miriam or Uche?
Uche, I just felt like had Miriam not had those inconsistencies, you know, she really would have ate him up. Uche cannot handle a girl like Miriam. Like she said, she's not a Leah. A Leah would never talk to Uche like that. She was too spicy, but I feel like her inconsistencies about what she was saying in the pod really hurt her back from saying what she wanted to say in that argument because, you know, he did kind of eat her up on that. But yeah, he can't handle no
Yeah,
real queen like Miriam for real.
100% agree with you.
We appreciate you joining us, Lucy.
No
I'll
problem.
see you. We see you next time. We got the finale next week. You excited? Probably
Can't
not.
wait. Got my popcorn, baby.
All right. Thank you for joining.
Rob, someone in the comments said, can we talk about the way Izzy was packing his suitcase? Y'all, that was the biggest fucking turn off. I'm shocked. I thought that's honestly what Stacy was mad about. Then they started talking about the credit, like in the credit cards. I thought she was mad watching him pack that suitcase, and he was just shoving it in. I'm like, are you 6? He was like a fucking child.
I wasn't paying attention, honestly. Oh my gosh.
If
Let's
he's
see.
judging